All right, guys, Tyrell here with Summit Sports Network. So we had some breaking news today. So Deebo Samuel actually requested a trade from the 49ers. Um, that's was, as was reported by Jeff Darlington of NFL Network. So um, a little bit to unpack here. So we don't really know why a lot of people didn't know why he would have requested a trade. Um, a lot of people thought it was because the 49ers, they didn't want to do a deal with him yet. They wanted to play out his contract. Um, Others just thought he just wasn't happy there. I did a little bit of research before I came on, and I wanted to make this video because I wanted to gather more information. I actually went to the 49ers beat writer, Grant Cohn for Sports Illustrated. He actually covers the 49ers, and he has a 49ers podcast. So go check out Grant Cohn's page, like, subscribe, and share over there. A little bit of plug for Grant. But anyways, so what we found out is basically this is not it's not the fact of that the 49ers don't want to do a contract with Deebo. The fact is that they're valuing him as a running back hybrid, not a all around dual weapon, crazy playmaker. So basically they're trying to devalue him so they don't have to pay him this huge receiver money that he's seeing. Deebo doesn't want to make $20 million in his career as a running back. He wants to make $100 and $120 million as a wide receiver, as a weapon. I mean, he had before they primarily switched him to running back last year. He had almost 1,000 yards as a receiver at that point. The only difference was they weren't winning. So that was the only issue, I guess. But I can't really attribute all that to Deebo, right? There's a lot of different factors going on with the 49ers at that time. They lost Raheem Mostert at running back for the year. Had they had him and they would have been able to keep Deebo at wide receiver and kind of still do all the things that he does, just not have such a big workload, because they can't let, this is what I think is going to happen. They're not going to let Deebo walk out the door. They're going to be like, all right, Deebo, we tried you, bro. We tried you, but come on back. We're going to work this thing out, and we'll get you fixed up. We'll make it all right again. Right. So I think that is what ultimately is going to happen. I don't see the 49ers letting Deebo get out of town. I mean, to request a trade, though, is pretty. I mean, it seems like it goes past like negotiation at that point. Once you request a trade, like, it seems like they were going back and forth, and the 49ers were like, okay, hey, this is where we're at. This is the number we're at, and we're not going to budge on it. I think that's just tough, man. This guy is your offense. Everyone in the league saw it last year. This guy's your offense. If you're not gonna, and then it sets a bad precedent for the guys on your team. Like, they're like, yo, if you're not gonna pay our best player, am I gonna get paid? Probably not. I mean, they paid Jimmy Garoppolo $100 and something million, and they don't even see him as their number one quarterback. Everyone's speculating that Trey Lance is saying he's been given the go ahead as the de facto number one quarterback in San Fran. So I just think this is what's coming out of the 49ers beat writers. This is what they're saying Deebo Samuel was offered a contract by the San Francisco 49ers. We don't know what the numbers were, but it sounds like they were probably piss poor low numbers. So I mean, and I just don't understand it. The guy was on a record. He was on a record-setting pace last year for receptions, receiving yards, just in the league. We're not just talking about the 49ers. We're talking about the league. So he had prolific numbers as a wide receiver before. They said, hey, Deebo, we need you in the backfield. We need you to primarily be a weapon out of the backfield, screens, whatever you do, handoffs, whatever we need you to do is what you got to do. We lost our running backs. I mean, as you can remember last year, they lost Jeff Wilson. They lost Mostert. They just, but they did have Elijah Mitchell.